beautiful bhajan sung by Agnideva Prabhu. I'm pasting the link to the lyrics of the song in the chat if you want it now or later. Yeah, I'll share my screen now. Second. Yeah, okay. You see my screen, all of you?
Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Jai Sachinandan Suramuni Bandana Bhavabhaya Kandana Jaya
Jai Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhavaya Kandana Jaya
Jai Sachinandana Suramuni Bandana Bhavabhaya Kandana Jaya
Jai Sachinandana Suramuni Vandana Bhavaya Kandana Jaya
Jai Hari Kirtana Nardana Bhadana
Hare Krishna.
Jai Hari Kirtana Nardana Bhadana
Hari Kirtana Nardana Bhardana
Kali Malakardana Jaya He
Kali Malakardana Jaya He
Kali Malakardana Jaya He
Kali Malakardana Jaya He
Nayana Purandar Vishwarupa Snehadar
Nayana Purandara Vishwarupa Snehadara
Nayana Purandar Vishwarupa Snehadar
Nayana Purandara Vishwarupa Snehadara
Shambhara Vishara Kalyana
Vishwambara Vishwara Kalyana
Vishambhara Vishara Kalyana
Vishwambara Vishwara Kalyana
Jai Lakshmi Vishnu Priya Vishambhara Priya Hiya Jai Priya Kinkara Ishana
Jai Lakshmi Vishnu Priya Vishwambara Priya Hiya Jai Priya Kinkara
Jai Lakshmi Vishnu Priya Vishambhara Priya Hiya Jai Priya Kinkara Ishana
Jai Lakshmi Vishnu Priya Vishwambara Priya Hiya Jai Priya
Sitaya Dvaitaray Malini Srivasa Jai Sitaya Dvaitaray Malini Srivasa Jai Jai Chandrasekhara Chaya Jai Chandrasekhara Chaya Jai Nityananda Rai Gadadhar Jai 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 Nityananda Rai Gadadhar Jai 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 Haridas Namachaya Jai Haridas Namachaya Murari Mukunda Jai Premanidhi Mahashaya Murari Mukunda Jai Premanidhi Mahashaya Jai Jata Prabhu Parishada Jai Jata Prabhu Parishada Bandi Javakara Paya Damera Kripa Bandi Sarakara Paya Damera Kripa Bhakti sa prasara Prabhupada. Bhakti sa prasara Prabhupada. Jaya Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare. Jaya Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Gaura Hare, Jaya Gaura Hare. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare, Jai Sachinandana Gaura Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Again, please accept my humble obeisances. I Guru Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Mukham karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam. So today is a very, very auspicious day, the disappearance day of Srila Ramacharya Haridas Thakur. In fact, this whole week, yesterday was the appearance day of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Today is Haridas Thakur's disappearance day. Tomorrow is Srila Prabhupada's Sannyas Day, Vishwarup Mahotsav, Bhadra Purnima. So it's bumper. Mercy is coming in torrents of rain, and we can't capture all of it. That's how it is for us. So today we'll try to speak about Haridas Thakur, and I promise you I can't stay within the half an hour. So I think we'll go over if half an hour is scheduled for the class. So the main focus will be his disappearance pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Panchalila, chapter 11. But before that, we'll also speak a little bit about Srila Haridas Thakur, his role in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Also, firstly, the references. So I've been very fortunate to hear from mostly the references, the lotus mouth of Srila Ramapa Swami. Heard from him Chaitanya Leela in Haridas, about Haridas Thakur, and 5 Mayapur Yatras, a couple of Jagannath Puri Yatras, and of course other events, occasions. As far as scriptures are concerned, Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita is concerned. Chaitanya Charitamrita. So firstly, Srila Haridas Thakur, who is he? Briefly, I will not have time to touch upon everything. Many of these things you may have already heard, but it's nice to hear them again and again. So as we understand, when Krishna comes, he comes with his associates. Like in Srimad Bhagavatam also it is mentioned, he requests the demigods to take birth before he advents in Vrindavan. So similarly, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes, he doesn't come alone. He comes with his associates, Sango Pangastra Parshadam. And some of his associates, they came before him. Some of his associates, they were much younger to him, like Jiva Goswami, next generation, Narottam Das Thakur, next generation. So Mahaprabhu's associates, they can continue to come even much, much later, like Srila Prabhupada of the Senapatis. So the Lord's pastimes are inconceivable. The associates come in his physical presence. They may come later. They may come again. Anyway, this is all far out stuff. Yeah, they may come later again also. So who is Haridas? Srila Haridas Thakur. So this is all described by, again, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates. There are books written. Bhakti Ratnakar, Gaura Gunadesh Deepika. Gaura Gunadesh Deepika specifically. Also, it talks about who is who in Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes and the corresponding, their role in Krishna's pastimes. Like the other day, we were hearing that Shyamananda Pandit is Kanaka Manjari in Krishna's pastimes. So how do we know that? So it's revealed by our acharyas, to whom it is revealed. So these are all associates of Mahaprabhu who wrote, further literatures. Like Kavi Karnapur, Shivananda Sen's son, he wrote a literature like that, Bhakti Ratnakar. Anyway, so there it is mentioned that Srila Haridas Thakur is Lord Brahma himself. And some of these pastimes are also in Navadvip Dham Mahatmya. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written a book. So in that Navadvip Dham Mahatmya, it is mentioned that the same Lord Brahma who appeared in Krishna's pastimes and who somehow, through the Brahma Vimohan Leela, he committed an offense against the Lord. After that pastime, he repented and he begged the Lord to again please allow him to come and take part in his pastimes. But next time around when he comes, he would not want, such a high position as Brahma, but just a lowly position, materially speaking, and allowing him to enter in his pastimes. So that same Srila Haridas, Lord Brahma, he appears in a simple Mohammedan family. Haridas Thakur was born in what is currently Bangladesh, East Bengal. And somehow, although he was born in a Mohammedan family, so he requested Mahaprabhu, I want to take part in your pastimes, but don't give me the opulences of Brahma, etc. Just some nobody I want to be. So he was born like that. But right from his childhood, somehow he was attracted to the holy name. He was born in a Mohammedan family, but he had attachment to the holy name. So there are many birth pastimes, but we'll not go into them. But we'll just cover the significant pastimes of Haridas Thakur. And as we understand, Srila Haridas Thakur, he was born much before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And as we hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya were instrumental in inviting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, inviting Krishna. So they saw the fallen condition of the people of Kali Yuga, including the Brahmanas, the learned people, and the fallen, everyone. And they were deeply considering how will the situation of Kali Yuga be rectified? Who can rectify it? They themselves were pure devotees of the Lord. Advaita Acharya himself is a plenary portion of the Lord, but he felt unqualified or incapable to correct the situation by himself. And so he requested. So they both together, understood that we should petition the Lord. So Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya are instrumental. Of course, Advaita Acharya specifically, but Haridas Thakur also. And then how did Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya meet? Yeah, well, that's another story. So Haridas Thakur, as I said, he grew up initially in Bangladesh. And then, of course, many, many pastimes happened. One significant pastime that happened is, as we hear about Raghunath Das Goswami. So Raghunath Das Goswami's parents, father Govardhan Majmudar and Hirani Majmudar, they used to live in a village in the Bengal area. And from time to time, they would invite sadhus to their home to preach. Jagadananda Acharya was sort of their spiritual master. And then similarly, Haridas Thakur was also invited once. And Haridas Thakur was speaking about the glories of the holy name. He was glorifying the holy name. He was talking about the glories of the pure holy name, the glories of the Namabhas, and even Nam Aparad, essentially, Namabhas. And he was sharing that even Namabhas can give one liberation, what to speak of the pure holy name. And there was one proud puffed up Brahmana, Gopal Chakravarti, there, who took issue to that. And he said, what do you think? What are you saying? People aspire, they perform their sadhana for thousands of years, and then they're able to attain liberation. But you are saying that just by Namabhas, not even consciously calling the holy name, but Sanketa Namabhas, Helana Namabhas, by that one can attain liberation. So he challenged him. He said, where is this written in scriptures? I'll cut off your nose, like that. But anyway, so that was a great offense that he committed against Haridas Thakur. And in a few days, this Gopal Chakravarti, his nose, it melted out of leprosy. Haridas Thakur, he just walked out of the assembly. He didn't retaliate. And the Brahmana was offending him. Look at these, Shudras who have no knowledge of scriptures in Kali Yuga. They are preaching about the holy name, etc., etc. So anyway, so Srila Haridas Thakur knew about the glories of the holy name. He was preaching the glories of the holy name even before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advented. So he understood that the Yuga Dharma is the Harinam. Of course, he waited for Mahaprabhu to come and inaugurate formally the Yuga Dharma, but he was chanting the holy name even before Mahaprabhu advented. So that's a very famous pastime that many of you may have heard. And then another pastime is, he was deeply attached to the holy name. And although he was a Muslim, he was chanting the holy name. And it created a huge ruckus in Bengal. And the Nawab Hussain Shah, he had an issue. He said, you are a Mohammedan. Why are you chanting the holy name of Krishna? Chant Allah's name. And he threatened him that if he doesn't stop chanting the holy name, he will have to face the consequences. And Srila Haridas Thakur said, well, even if you cut my body into pieces, I cannot stop chanting the holy name. And so eventually that Qazi or fellow, he ordered that Haridas Thakur be beaten in 22 marketplaces. And as he was being beaten in marketplaces, he took shelter of the holy name, like Prahlad, when Hiranyakashipu was trying to perform all these atrocities on him. So Srila Haridas Thakur, he kept chanting the holy name, and not a scratch came on his body. And these, big, hefty men, they were beating him, with in about 22 marketplaces. Nobody survived even one marketplace, but he survived 22. And we will come to that later, how he survived. Besides taking shelter of the holy name, Mahaprabhu revealed something in Srivas Angan, a pastime later. Anyways, I'm going back and forth. I hope you can keep up with me. So these two people are unable to kill him. And they are afraid now, that the Qazi will ask for their head. I gave you a simple service. To kill this man. 22 marketplaces you can do. So these two men or three men, whoever, they requested Haridas Thakur, they begged him, please understand our situation. The Kali will take our life. So you do something. So Srila Haridas Thakur, he went into Samadhi, apparently losing his life. And so these two men, they took Haridas Thakur. So Haridas Thakur gave the plan. He said, I will go into the Samadhi. It will appear as if I'm dead. You take me to the Qazi, and then you follow his instructions. And so when they took them to the Qazi said, good riddance. Thank you very much. Throw his body in the Ganga. So these two men, they threw the body into the Ganga. And then as the Ganga, Haridas Thakur floated down the Ganga, and a few villages down, he just got out of Samadhi, walked out of the Ganga, and he just chanted the holy name. And so, of course, word spread that this sadhu, had apparently gone into Samadhi and he had not died. And so this Qazi also, he repented, he asked for forgiveness from Haridas Thakur. Anyway, so such was his faith in the holy name. And there is also one other small pastime, which many of you have heard. One other envious king, he tried to cause the fall down of Haridas Thakur. And so he employed a prostitute who was Maya Devi personified to try to make him to fall down. And so she comes to entice Srila Haridas Thakur. And Haridas Thakur had a vow every day to chant 3 lakh names, 192 rounds every day. So he saw that this prostitute had come the first night. He said, yeah, please, I have taken a vow to chant my rounds. Let me finish my rounds. I'll fulfill all your desires. So it's a tricky answer. I'll fulfill all your desires. Swartha Gatim Hi Vishnu. The real desire of the living entity is to be connected with Krishna. So he tells her, just sit here. Let me finish my rounds. It will not be appropriate to not keep my vow. I fulfill your desires. So she heard his chanting all day. And it became next day morning. And then she went back home. And then the Qazi, or the whoever, he asked her, what happened? He said, well, he had many rounds to chant, so it didn't happen yesterday. But be patient. Today, health causes fall down. That's when she goes again the next night. Same thing happens the next night. And then the Qazi is getting impatient. She says, wait. He wants to send his people. He said, no. Let's first catch him red-handed, then you come. So third day, I will definitely ensure that I'll cause his fall down. So she comes back the third day. And again, Srila Haridas Thakur is chanting, by the Tulasi Maharani. And so somehow there's a transformation. She's hearing the pure holy name from Srila Haridas Thakur for 2 nights, all nights. So as we hear, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhi Hoy. So this prostitute, Maya Devi personified, her heart transforms. She thinks, oh my God, what am I doing? Yeah, this person is a saintly person. And so eventually she takes shelter of him. And he actually tells her, so she reveals the plan. What was her plan? What was how the Qazi had engaged her, but for what reason? Srila Haridas Thakur said, actually, I knew what the plan was even before you came or when you came. I could have left the same day, but I just stayed here to deliver you. Anyway, we cannot imitate. Srila Haridas Thakur can do that, but we don't flirt with Maya. Srila Haridas Thakur stayed back. I said, I'm just here, Laksha Hira, for your deliverance. And he gave her some wonderful instructions. He's asked her to stay there, worship Tulsi Maharani, chant the holy names incessantly, give up all that she has from her prior profession, donate it to people. And yeah, and she explained to her that the real rectification is a reinstatement of Krishna consciousness. There is no requirement for prayaschita, atonement for what you have done, the life that you have led. What has been done is done. Rectify yourself by chanting the holy name. No other atonement is required. And so she became, a great devotee, and she followed in the footsteps of her spiritual master, and she preached to everyone. So that is another pastime that we hear. And then, as I said, eventually Srila Haridas Thakur, after this whole beating of the marketplaces and all that, he came to a place called Fulia, near Shantipur. As we understand, Advaita Acharya lives in Shantipur. So Haridas Thakur, he came to Shantipur, Fulia near Shantipur, very close by. We've gone to that place. And Haridas Thakur was excited. He was elated to have his association, like-minded people. As we understand, at the time, the pure devotees were few and far in between. Very rare souls were there. It was not flooded like later on with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advent. So they took each other's association, and so some wonderful pastime happened in Folia. So Haridas Thakur there, he used to live in a small cave there. And when he lived in the small cave, he was just happy in the cave, chanting the holy name. But there was a vicious, venomous serpent living in that cave also. And it was so deadly, like Kalia, the Kalia's poisonous fumes, the birds flying over the lake would fall and die. So something like that. These poisonous fumes of the serpent. And people wanted to take darshan and have association of Haridas Thakur, but they could not stand there for a minute even. Their eyes would start to water and the poisonous fumes of this serpent. And somehow Srila Haridas Thakur, he was oblivious to all that. And he was just staying there peacefully, just chanting the holy name. Again, we can't imitate. So anyway, these are practical ways how these devotees, they transcend their bodies. But he saw that the devotees were concerned. The people that were coming to meet him, they were concerned, and they wanted to have his association. And so they were requesting him, maybe, can you please make another residence? Can you stay somewhere else besides this cave, which has this poisonous snake? Haridas Thakur said, okay, I'll consider your request. And then he said, well, if by tomorrow the snake does not leave this cave, then I'll find another residence. And as we understand, the Paramatma is there in everyone's heart. So the Paramatma in the snake's heart, it inspired him to leave the cave. And as soon as Haridas Thakur uttered this prayer, or this non-violent communication request to the snake, and the snake offered obeisance, slithered out, left. And Haridas Thakur continued to live there. So many pastimes. Correct, again, another one to connect to Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya had performed his father's Shraddha ceremony. And typically it is a tradition to offer the prasadam offered to Lord Vishnu and the forefathers, to the most eminent Brahmana, or the Brahmanas that conduct the whole sacrifice, the ceremony. So somehow Advaita Acharya, he requested Srila Haridas Thakur to receive, that first remnants offered to Lord Vishnu and the forefathers. So, and that meant losing his caste. But Srila Haridas Thakur, he understood that there are many so-called namesake Brahmanas, but Srila Haridas Thakur is the real Vaishnava. He is the most qualified. So he offered him the first, remnants. So Srila Haridas Thakur and Advaita Acharya were like this. So many, many pastimes happened. Srila Haridas Thakur, very fortunate. He was there in Nadia, Shantipur area, in Mahaprabhu's early pastimes. Then when Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri, as we know, everybody wanted to leave for Jagannath Puri. practically Shantipur, Navadvip wanted to vacate, but Mahaprabhu instructed all of them to stay. He allowed a few devotees to come with him. Haridas Thakur was one of them. And Srila Haridas Thakur, he lived in Jagannath Puri. Then he moved to Jagannath Puri and he would stay a little far away from the temple, considering himself unqualified near Siddha Bakul. He had gone to that place. But I mean, he's so exalted that Srila Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every day in Jagannath Puri, he would take darshan of Lord Jagannath. He would take the Mahaprasadam of Lord Jagannath, and then he would take it to Haridas Thakur's home, and he would give him the prasadam every day. So one can imagine the relationship between Haridas Thakur and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he instituted him as the Namacharya, the main thing that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to establish, the Yuga Dharma. He nominated Srila Haridas Thakur as the Namacharya. And like we hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he heard from Ramananda Rai about, many exalted topics. It is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he requested Srila Haridas Thakur. There's a conversation which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has recorded as Harinam Chintamani. So there is a conversation between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Haridas Thakur. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking questions. And Srila Haridas Thakur is explaining the glories of the holy name. That whole conversation is recorded as Harinam Chintamani by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So, and Haridas Thakur is saying, I don't know what I'm speaking and what you're making me speak. You're like a puppeteer. I'm like a puppet in your hands. You're making me dance. And as you're making me dance, I'm dancing. I don't even know what I'm saying. So he used Srila Haridas Thakur's mouth, Mahaprabhu, to enunciate the glories of the holy name. As we understand, Mahaprabhu himself, he didn't write too many things. He wrote Sikshashtakam. He engaged Rupa Sanatan Goswamis to write transcendental literature. Similarly, he engaged Srila Haridas Thakur in speaking the glories of the holy name. So anyway, it's a very, very intimate relationship. Very exalted devotee. And now, it was right on time. Not bad. 20 minutes for all that. So now, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anchalila, chapter 11. We'll try to read from that. It's a very, very beautiful pastime. People in classes, no? Yeah, and as I was sharing, Mahaprabhu would visit Haridas Thakur every day, and all these devotees, Mahaprabhu would discuss Srimad Bhagavatam with Gadadhar Pandit and other associates. Srila Haridas Thakur would also be amongst them. And as we understand, sometimes Rupa Sanatan Goswami, they would come from Vrindavan to Jagannath Puri, from Mahaprabhu's association. And especially again, the relationship between Sanatan Goswami and Haridas Thakur. Wherever Sanatan Goswami would come, he would stay with Srila Haridas Thakur. And there are pastimes. We heard last Vyasa Puja, when Sanatan Goswami, Mahaprabhu was giving him his mercy, right? Sanatan Goswami came from Vrindavan. He contracted this disease. And Mahaprabhu was having this exchange with Sanatan Goswami. And he was bringing him closer to him little by little. Haridas Thakur was observing all this. And he was glorifying Sanatan Goswami. Wow, how fortunate that, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bringing you into his, closer to him, like that. And in that, Sanatan Goswami, he glorifies actually the Haridas Thakur a beautiful way. He says, actually, you are the perfect person. There are many people, there are many devotees, he said, they are able to preach the message of the Lord, but their achar, their behavior is not so great or not so perfect. And there are some whose behavior is perfect, but they don't sufficiently preach the message of the Lord. But in you, both are there in a perfect condition. You preach the message of the Lord and you live the message of the Lord. So this is how Sanatan Goswami glorified Haridas Thakur. And then if you go to Jagannath Puri, some of you have gone to Jagannath Puri, maybe one day you'll go to Jagannath Puri. There's a beautiful place near Simhadwara, Samadhi of Srila Bhakti Vinod, Srila Haridas Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Bhajan Kutir is also nearby. So Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he inscribed something on the Samadhi of Srila Haridas Thakur. I'd like to read that first before we read the disappearance pastime. Some of you know this quote, right? Let me see. My vision is not so good, but let me see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how to see the Vaishnavas' disappearance. The Vaishnavas, essentially the Vaishnavas, they continue to live. They may be physically absent, but they continue to live in their instructions, in their pastimes. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote this small couplet or quartlet, four lines about Vaishnavas. He wrote, he reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die. He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in sound, when they are still living in sound. This is Shakespeare in English, Old English. He reasons ill who says Vaishnavas die when they are still living in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live eternally. That means the Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around. One more time. He reasons ill who says that Vaishnavas die when thou art living still in sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living try to spread the holy name around. So this is on the Samadhi of Haridas Thakur near Simhadwar in Jagannath Puri, if you ever go. So now I will come to this beautiful chapter, Chaitanya Charitamrita Anchalila, chapter 11, Srila Haridas Thakur's passing away. So I will, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he offers many prayers. We have offered them, but I will skip some of those, if you don't mind, in the interest of time. So, yeah, so I'll pick it up. Yeah, I'd love to read the Bengali, not as good as Chintamani Mataji, but we don't have time. Bengali is very sweet here, but we'll mostly read English translation. So I'll read from verse 11. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannath Puri with his personal devotees and enjoyed the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is Vedas. All the books of Srila Prabhupada are there. You can download it. It's an app. The funds go to BBT. Dancing Ganesh, you don't need internet and all that. So it's like that. Translation, verse and purport. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus resided at Jagannath Puri with his personal devotees and enjoyed the congregational chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In the daytime, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged in dancing and chanting and in seeing the temple of Lord Jagannath. At night, in the company of his most confidential associates such as Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, he tasted the nectar of the transcendental mellows of Lord Sri Krishna's pastimes. So during the daytime, externally Mahaprabhu was behaving in one way. Internally, his mood was this mood of Radharani in separation of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very happily passed his days in this way at Nilachala, Jagannath Puri. Feeling separation from Krishna, he exhibited many transcendental symptoms all over his body. We'll skip some of these verses, Mahabhava, etc. beyond us. Okay, now, one day, Govinda, the personal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, went in great jubilation to deliver the remnants of Lord Jagannath's food to Haridas Thakur. As I said, Mahaprabhu would personally go to Haridas Thakur's Siddhapakol and give him prasadam. Just a simple tree, he would sit and stay under the tree, give him prasadam. But in this case, it seems Mahaprabhu told Govinda, hey, can you please give this prasadam to Haridas Thakur? A very sweet exchanges between Lord and his associates, their love. Then when Govinda came to Haridas, he saw that Haridas Thakur was lying on his back and chanting his rounds very slowly. Please rise and take your Mahaprasadam, Govinda said. Haridas Thakur replied, today I shall observe fasting. I have not finished chanting my regular number of rounds, 192 rounds, which are not like 16 rounds. So practically at least 20 hours a day chanting the holy name. I have not finished chanting my regular number of rounds. How then can I eat? But you have brought Mahaprasadam, and how can I neglect it? Prabhupada has written some purports, but we'll skip that. Saying this, he offered prayers to the Mahaprasadam, took a little portion and ate it. So just a little portion. Prabhupada glorifies Mahaprasadam. You can read the purport. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Haridas's place and inquired from him, Haridas, are you well? Haridas offered his obeisances to the Lord and replied, my body is all right, but my mind and intelligence are not well. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further inquired from Haridas, can you ascertain what your disease is? Haridas Thakur replied, my disease is that I cannot complete my rounds. Now that you have become old, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, now that you have become old, the Lord said, you may reduce the number of rounds you chant daily. You're already liberated, and therefore you need not follow the regulative principles very strictly. Now here is Mahaprabhu himself saying, Loka nistarite e tomara avatara, namera mahima loke karila prachara. Your role in this incarnation is to deliver the people in general. Avatara, he calls them. You have sufficiently preached the glories of the holy name in this world. So he's saying that you have come as the expansion or Brahma himself. And you preached the holy name. You're old now. Thank you for your service. The Lord concluded, now therefore, please reduce the number of rounds you chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Haridas Thakur replied, kindly hear my real plea. Now he's coming to the real thing. He's saying, I was born in an inferior family, his humility, Haridas Thakur, and my body is most abominable. Hina jati janma mora nindya kalevara. Hina karma. I was born in an inferior family and my body is most abominable. I always engage in low work. Therefore, I am the lowest, most condemned of men. I am unseeable, adrishya, asprishya, mora angikara koila. But by you, I am unseeable, untouchable, but you have accepted me as your servant, mora angikara koila. Raurava, I was destined for Raurava, but you have given me the residence in Vaikuntha. You have delivered me from a hellish condition and raised me to the Vaikuntha platform. My dear Lord, you are the fully independent personality of Godhead. You act by your own free will. You cause the whole world to dance and act as you like. My dear Lord, by your mercy, you have made me dance in many ways. He's talking about the Shadapatra. For example, I was offered the Shadapatra, which should have been offered to the first class Brahmanas. I ate from it even though I was born in a family of meat eaters. I have had one desire. Now he's coming to the point. I have had one desire for a very long time. I think that quite soon, my Lord, you will bring to a close your pastimes within this material world. Like Bhishma there is praying. I wish that you not show me this closing chapter of your pastimes. I don't want to see your disappearance pastimes. I can't survive. Before that time comes, kindly let my body fall down in your presence. Now listen to what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. It's very sweet. I wish, not yet. I wish to catch your lotus-like feet upon my heart and see your moon-like face. With my tongue, I shall chant your holy name, Sri Krishna Chaitanya. That is my desire. Kindly let me give up my body in this way. O most merciful Lord, if by your mercy it is possible, kindly grant my desire. So he's saying, you are very merciful. If by your mercy it is possible, kindly grant my desire. And what does Lord Chaitanya say? A little later, let this low-born body fall down before you. You can make possible this perfection of all my desires. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Haridas, he is Krishna himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But he's saying, my dear Haridas, Krishna is so merciful that he must execute whatever you want. In other words, Mahaprabhu is saying, I will do what you want. My dear Haridas, Krishna is so merciful that he must execute whatever you want. Satya Sankalpa, the devotees, pure desires are satisfied by the Lord. But Mahaprabhu is saying now, Kintu amara ye kichu sukha. I just have a little bit of happiness. That's you. But whatever happiness is mine is all due to your association. It is not fitting for you to go away and leave me behind. So this Mahaprabhu is telling him like that. And it's not just flattery, it's the fact. Catching the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur said, my Lord, very beautiful. Sharane dhari kahe Haridas, na kari he maya. Please don't put me in illusion. Avashya mo adhame prabhu kara e daya. Catching the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Haridas Thakur said, my Lord, do not create an illusion. Although I am so fallen, you must certainly show me this mercy. My Lord, now he's saying, there are many Mora Shiromani Kata Kata Mahashaya. My Lord, there are many respectable devotees, personalities, millions of devotees who are fit to sit on my head. They're all helpful in your pastimes. My Lord, if an insignificant insect like me dies, what is the loss? If an ant dies, where is the loss to the material world? My Lord, you're always affectionate to your devotees. I'm just an imitation devotee, but nevertheless, I wish that you fulfill my desire. That's my expectation. Of course, I'm skipping something. That day it was noon, so Mahaprabhu could not fulfill that desire that day. Because he had to perform his noon duties, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got up to leave, but it was decided, it was settled. Mahaprabhu had made up his mind. Tomorrow, Ananta Chaturdashi, tomorrow, I'll come with the devotees. But it was settled that the following day, after he saw Lord Jagannath, he would return to visit Haridas Thakur. After embracing him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left to perform his noon duties and went to the sea to take his bath. Skipping the next morning, after visiting the Jagannath temple, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, accompanied by all his devotees, went hastily to see Haridas Thakur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the devotees came before Haridas Thakur, who offered his respects to the lotus feet of the Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Vaishnavas. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired, my dear Haridas, what is the news? Haridas Thakur replied, my Lord, whatever mercy you can bestow upon me. He's saying, what is the news? Upon hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately began great congregational chanting in the courtyard Vakreshwar Pandit was the chief dancer. Headed by Swarup Damodar Goswami, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu surrounded Haridas Thakur and began congregational chanting. So this is how a Vaishnava ideally lives, amidst the chanting of the holy names. In front of all the great devotees like Ramananda Rai and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I'm reading all these names as was in the bhajan. I picked that bhajan just by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, just by hearing the names of these pure associates of Lord Chaitanya, one can awaken love of Godhead just by hearing their names. In front of all the great devotees like Ramananda Rai and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to describe the holy attributes of Haridas Thakur. As he described the transcendental attributes of Haridas Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seemed to possess 5 mouths. The more he described, the more his great happiness increased. After hearing of the transcendental qualities of Haridas Thakur, all the devotees present were struck with wonder. They all offered their respectful obeisances to the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur made Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sit down in front of him, and then he fixed his eyes like 2 bumblebees on the lotus face of the Lord, Mukha Padma. He held the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his chest and then took the dust of the feet of all the devotees present and put it on his head. Like Bhishma Dev. Practically, Bhishma Dev was also lying on a bed of arrows. All these great Vaishnavas had come. He could not interact with them, but just through glances and gestures, he satisfied everyone. Similarly, here Haridas Thakur is in such similar condition, lying down, but he's taking the dust to the lotus feet of the Lord. While chanting the holy names of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, he gave up his air of life and left his body. Seeing the wonderful death of Haridas Thakur by his own will, it was just like a great mystic yogi. Everyone remembered the passing away of Bhishma Dev. There was tumultuous noise as they chanted the holy name, Hari and Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. The Lord raised the body of Haridas Thakur and placed it on his lap. Then he began to dance in the courtyard. You must have seen this BVT painting, Srila Haridas Thakur. Mahaprabhu is holding Haridas Thakur and they are going through the streets of Jagannath Puri, go to the beach, wash his body, apply sandalwood paste, dig a hole, make a samadhi. So Mahaprabhu personally, he did all that. Because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's ecstatic love, all the devotees were helpless. And in ecstatic love, they also began to dance and chant congregationally. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced for some time, and then Swarup Damodar Goswami informed him of other rituals. Mahaprabhu had lost time, consciousness, and then he informed him that other rituals of Haridas Thakur had to be performed. Mahaprabhu came back to external consciousness, as we've been hearing. Anyway, and then it was placed on a carrier. It looked like a Vaikuntha Vimana. And then amidst the chanting of the holy name, they went to the beach, they washed the body. Yeah, and then Mahaprabhu declared, from this day on, this sea has become a great pilgrimage site. Everyone drank the water that had touched the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, and then they smeared remnants of Lord Jagannath's sandalwood pulp over Haridas Thakur's body. Then Samadhi, then Jagannath's silken robes were received from Lord Jagannath. Pulp, sandalwood pulp, food and cloth were placed on the body of Haridas Thakur. The devotees performed more Sankirtan, Vakreshwar Pant danced in jubilation. Anyway, skipping many details. Mahaprabhu personally, he wanted to also organize a feast on the disappearance day of Haridas Thakur. So he went to Jagannath Puri, outside the food stalls, and he took his uttariya and he begged for alms from all the shopkeepers. He said, please give me some prasadam. Lord Jagannath, I want to feed the Vaishnavas. Govinda and Swarup Damodar, he said, Mahaprabhu, please, we'll do it. You don't have to do it personally, we'll do it. You please carry on. So they requested Mahaprabhu to go back to Gambhira. And then Govinda, Swarup Damodar, they stayed back with the 4 associates. They said, we'll take care of it. We'll bring prasadam. And then Kashi Mishra, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and all these other devotees, they also arranged for a feast from Lord Jagannath's temple. So like this, there was a huge feast. Everybody was fed. Yeah, anyway, in the interest of time, yeah. Yeah, the shopkeepers were very eager. However, Swarup Damodar stopped them and the shopkeepers returned their baskets. Anyway, so this I already mentioned all these things. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made all the devotees sit in rows and personally began to distribute the prasadam, assisted by 4 other men. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not accustomed to taking prasadam in small quantities. He therefore put on each plate what at least 5 men could eat. Swarup Damodar Goswami requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please sit down and watch. With these men to help me, I shall distribute the prasadam. Swarup Damodar is telling Mahaprabhu, please sit down. The 4 men, Swarup Damodar, Jagadananda, Kashishwara, and Shankara Pandit, distributed the prasadam continuously. All the devotees who sat down would not eat the prasadam so long as the Lord had not eaten. On that day, however, Kashi Mishra had extended an invitation to the Lord. Anyway, so Mahaprabhu went there. So everyone was filled up to the neck because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu kept telling the distributors, give them more, give them more. After all the devotees finished accepting prasadam and had washed their hands and mouths, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decorated each of them with a flower garland and sandalwood pulp. Benediction, just this last verse. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this benediction. Anyone who has seen the festival of the Srila Haridas Thakur passing away through the years, I'm adding even, anyone who has seen the festival of Srila Haridas Thakur passing away, anyone who has chanted and danced here, anyone who has offered sand on the body of Haridas Thakur, and anyone who has joined this festival to partake of the prasadam will achieve the favor of Krishna very soon. There is such wonderful power in seeing Haridas Thakur. Being merciful upon me, Krishna gave me the benediction of Haridas Thakur. Being independent in his desires, he has now broken that connection. And Mahaprabhu was saying when Haridas Thakur wanted to leave, it was not in my power to stop him. I could not stop him. So anyway, thank you all for joining. I know many devotees from India also joined. If devotees want to leave and have other services and duties, please carry on. But finally, on this amazing auspicious day, we can pray to Srila Haridas Thakur that even if we have a drop of the humility that he has, the attachment that he has to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the holy name, our life will become successful. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any comments? Any discussion? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. All
Hari Bol.
glories to
Please accept
Maharaj
humble obeisances.
Prabhupada.
Hari Bol.
We are so fortunate to hear from you these pastimes.
Hari
We
Bol.
are so fortunate to have your association here again. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm very fortunate to hear all these things from Maharaj. So it's just repeating everything. Yeah. So whatever attachment I have is because of his mercy.
Right. So wonderful.
Yes. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. I just want to say thank you so much for sharing these pastimes this morning. So it was very nice to hear from you, especially. So it was so sweet.
I'm a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fan, as you can see.
Yeah.
I have to stop myself. Yeah. Yeah. anyway, all of us are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Thank you for engaging me and giving me this opportunity. Well, in this case, I took it. I think there was an opening this morning. There was nobody. So I said, I'll take the opportunity to share whatever. Thank you. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for
Please
doing
accept
it.
my humble obeisances. All good to Srila Prabhupada.